Hello friends, good evening. I think there was some problem with the streaming. So if you can hear me and if you can see me, just say hi. And yeah, just confirm that you can hear me and see me. I'm sorry for that. I think this YouTube live stream kind of got disconnected twice with an error. I'm not sure what happened, to be honest. Yeah, but let's just have at least one confirmation that you can, see me and hear me properly. And yeah, if there's any problem, also do let me know. Okay. But otherwise, how was your day? I think today markets were kind of, not great. In fact, our portfolio was down after many days. Our portfolio was down today. In fact, we're down below, around, we were around 11% up overall, but now we're down, right? So I think, as I said yesterday, or I think I mentioned before that, the doji was a sign of a pause, and probably that's the reason why this is happening. Okay, so yeah. Hi Vijay, hi. Yes, someone Malik, hi. Hi Akash. Hello Dinesh, hi Shande, hi Kumragiri, hi Prakash. Okay, good. Yeah, it's perfect. Hi Arun. Cool. Okay, yeah, I think most of us had a flat day. Okay, so before starting, I just wanted to check this, account value curve, right, which shows you how your account has been moving, right? So we started off from here, from 1 lakh, we kind of had a continuous move up since many days, and now we're kind of dipping, right? So probably that's not a breakdown, I hope, but yeah, we were yesterday at 1.11 lakhs, and today we are down to 1.09. So a pause, probably we are going to consolidate for some more time, or probably we're going to fall 100 200 points. We look at that shortly, but yeah, I think at least one of our stops might hit. I'm not sure which one, but one of our stops will hit for sure, that much I think. And that's something which happens to most of us, yeah, when markets correct. um, yeah, so let's jump into the Nifty outlook. Okay, so Nifty had a kind of morning, we had a sell off. So if you see this morning, we kind of had a gap, not a gap up, but directly, yeah, we opened gap up and then we kind of had a sell off and we had an up move, and we spoke about this as being as a support zone, right? So we did speak about that, and we spoke about a trend line, right? If many of you remember, if any of you remember, you might have probably taken a short trade, which should have which should have hit stop loss, right? So that was the trend line we are looking at, and then we had a breakdown, right? But that breakdown did not have a follow through, right? So we just had a small follow through, and then probably you might have exited looking at this, right? So if you had exited, if you had shorted properly, then you might have exited looking at this close over here, because this was a higher high, right? So after the breakdown, we kind of consolidated for some time, right? So we consolidated from 10 o'clock until almost 11:50, and then we had a breakthrough, breakout, and then we had a move up, straight move up, and touching almost the previous day high. But again, we had a rejection, right? So that highs would probably be very difficult to cross, for at least for the next few days probably, or unless there is some stock like Reliance which pulls the index up, or kind of Bank Nifty moves up. So but yeah, that's the third rejection which has happened around that zone, right? So again, you had a shorting opportunity when we had a lower high, right? So we kind of had a lower high even here, so you could have probably shorted there with the stop there, and you could have made some decent money. So both ways today, here you could have made a minor low profit, and but here you could have made decent profits at the end of the day. So if you're a positional trader, probably yeah, it still remain on the short side, because we are forming higher high, lower lows, and here we had high lows. But on early time frame, yeah, we are still forming a nice base over there, right? So a similar kind of a base is being formed there, and for me, any levels, if we have to go really high, then we have to cross this high, only then I'll go long probably. And if you want to go short, I'll go short only below this level, right? So you don't have to trade each and every move. Remember, in markets, you need to just trade few moves in order to make money. But I think this low will now prove to be very critical, and if you break this low, then probably we are going lower from here, okay, for some time at least. But that's a nice consolidation which is happening for the last 2 days. And for me, the next major support, if you would ask me, for me the next major support would be around the primary trend line, which is this, right? So you can connect from here, you can just drag it, you will see that this is a primary trend line. And probably if Nifty kind of breaks from there, which we have already broken, right? So we've already broken the trend line. So we've already broken the steep trend line, and we did a retest probably. So that was probably a retest of that extended trend line, and then now probably we are coming lower, or we might just consolidate and go sideways also, right? So remember, a trend line break doesn't mean that always you'll go down. You might just consolidate like this and go sideways, and then probably head higher as well. Any possibility can happen, or we may consolidate and break down and come down as well. So these are the possibilities that I see for the markets in the coming days. But yeah, a base is clearly being formed. For which side breakout, that no one knows. But for now, yeah, you probably should short only below 17 to 80 levels, 85 levels, and probably go long only above 17431 levels. Or you can probably pay the long trade. So here, if you see a long green candle, then probably go long for targets of 430. And if you see a rejection candle, no, rejection candle is nothing but, a candle like this. You break out, then you come down, right? So that's a rejection candle. So, or you wait for a swing low like this, and you go short below that swing low. So you can do whatever you want, but for now, I think the trend is kind of sideways, and we need some really breakout on either side in order to decide which side we're going. Okay, but yeah, this is a pause. So yesterday's doji followed by today's sell-off in the morning and a recovery. Okay, so let's see where this market is headed. But an interesting thing, if you are probably trading Bank Nifty, then probably I think Bank Nifty might provide that support for Nifty. And I think that we have done a retest today after the breakout, right? So breakout, a retest is probably done, I feel, and we might head higher, no one knows, or this could be a failure, breakout failure. I was just looking at the last week candle was good, so I don't see a problem. We had kind of opened, was almost close to the low, and now we're just probably consolidating, right? So yeah, I think probably Bank Nifty might do some support for the markets, and we might either go sideways while other sectors, while Bank Nifty goes up, other sectors might correct or something like that. But one other point to note is the CNX IT is finally showing some signs of a reversal. Again, yesterday's low would be very crucial because we had a breakout from here and we headed higher, right? So this was a breakout, we headed higher, and now probably if we break yesterday's low and if we come lower, then probably IT might see some sell-off going forward, right? So IT has had a very strong run-up. Remember, we had a very strong run-up, and we might see some consolidation here, right? So that's something that I wanted to cover today. And we look at some stocks which are looking interesting, right? That's the IT trend line, right? So the trend line is very crucial, and levels of 34,000 is very crucial. If you go below 34,000, then probably the short-term trend top is there in IT, right? This doesn't mean that we won't go higher. Probably short-term correction, then we head higher. Okay. So yeah, so that's the outlook on Nifty. Any doubts, do let me know. Let's jump to our Trade with Trendline Investor series. There's nothing much update. There's no update on the portfolio, so I'm directly going to the stocks. Just look at the stocks so that I can spend some time answering questions. So LXCHEM, as I said, we had 2 days of doji. That was a sign of a top probably, and we are now correcting, right? So if you see this low of this day, doji was 480, and today we just closed above 480. So it's very important for that 480 levels to be hold that 480 levels. And probably if you close below 480, then probably you're going to come back all the way to 430 odd levels, or probably fill this gap also, right? Now remember, stop loss is at 431, 430 odd, and remember we are making higher lows. Sorry, yeah, still not the higher lows intact. We've not broken that yet, and this is something that I spoke about yesterday, the trend line, right? Now tomorrow, we might probably test this trend line and head higher as well. That's another possibility that we might have. Right, but let's see that tomorrow. Let's see what happens, and then if we probably break out then tomorrow above this point, above 500 levels, then probably we can trade our stop loss to 475, right? But for now, our stop loss remains at 430. Okay, but remember, the structure is very clear. We are still in an uptrend, right? Even on the hourly charts, so nothing to worry there. Next is Fortis. Fortis again is showing some signs of weakness. This morning we had a gap down, probably a strong sell-off, but that there was no follow-through of that sell-off. That's a good thing that happened. There was no follow-through, and we kind of have closed below that low over here. Remember, stop loss at around 269. We'll continue to keep a stop there, and we expect a reversal probably from that point, and probably we'll head higher. All right. Yeah, but that's Fortis. Again, not looking great since many days, just been going sideways. Nothing much happening. So Cummins is still forming a higher low every day. So every day if you see the low is high, also we're having new higher highs, but there has been some sell-off which has been happening, which is preventing the stock from heading higher, right? So this is the trend line that probably you can watch, and we might probably reverse tomorrow if the markets are good. Then probably tomorrow could be a day of reversal. We right around the trend line support, and we might probably head higher again tomorrow. Okay, so this could also be a good F&O trade in case you're interested. Okay, so that's Cummins. TATALXSI is again facing rejection, like many stocks are facing this rejection because of the sell-off. But again, if you notice on the hourly charts, we are forming higher lows. Every low is higher than the previous low, right? So the trend is still good, and yeah, even though the Nifty did see a correction today, TATALXSI was good. So there is strength in the stock still, and we might still head higher. Remember, stop loss is 4,700 for this. Okay, some of the stocks that we looked at yesterday, CDSL, I remember we said 1,012.30 is the level that you have to keep, right? 1,012.27 odd. Just keep a buy stop above that, and you should probably, order should get triggered, and then we might see some good moves, right? So that's CDSL. Gravita again hasn't gone above that high, so all you need to just keep a stop over that point. Network 18 had a sell-off today. Again, we discussed this. There is some serious rejection around here. Right now, this is the problem that I see with trendline breakouts. Now, trendline breakouts, even they happen, sometimes you are not really sure because probably this is acting as a rejection, right? And the stock might never go above this point ever. I'm just saying for the sake of it, like why trendline breakouts should not be relied upon, right? Whereas, if you rely on horizontal breakouts, then probably, you'll probably see that reaction happening, and it might not come back this much in. But trendline breakouts is something that I really don't rely on. So that's why I had a very small position when a trendline breaks out. And then, once the horizontal breakouts are done, which is the previous swing high is taken out, that's when you get a solid confirmation that that trend is really up now. Right, for now, we have a short-term low high, low low formation, and this previous lower high is not broken yet. So we need some more time for that trend to be confirmed that it is up in the short-term trend also, right? But you can also consider this major swing high, swing low. From that perspective, yes, but in a shorter time frame, you have a lot of low highs, low lows, right? So that's one of the problems this stock is facing. Now, Bharati Airtel is looking really good. In fact, I was just checking the stock today. It has, I posted this chart some time back as well. It has given a clean breakout, a multi-year breakout, right? And also, if you look at from a trend line perspective, right now, many might, not agree with me on this trend line, which is totally fine, right? But I see that probably, this is a breakout here. The first touch point, second, third, there were spikes above, right? I'm just ignoring the spikes, and if you see, we have a breakout here, and probably now we might have a very good move going forward, just like how Reliance had a very good move post 2016, 2017. So fingers crossed here, but I think Bharati Airtel might show some really good moves going forward. So if you're investing and if you want to like probably be in a safe stock, then this is probably a safe stock because it's a large cap blue chip, and you could probably also consider a SIP or investment in the stock. It's up to you how you want to decide it, but I feel that this stock has a very good potential to head higher from here. Okay, so these are stocks I want to discuss. Now let's take your questions. Yeah, let's look at it. So VIP Industries, Dinesh is asking a question. Let's look at it. Yeah, the markets are weak, right? So you might face rejection, but a breakout would be really powerful. So probably, when it breaks out and closes above, then you can add more and trail a stop loss to the previous swing low somewhere. But for now, I think the stock really looks good. It just needs to close above 490 odd, then probably we are heading higher. But remember, the stock is still strong. There is no signs of weakness yet, so don't sell it off just yet. You just need to have some patience and hold it. Okay. Amarjit is asking Grasim Industries. Let's look at it. I think it has strong momentum on the daily time frame. All it needs to do is, I think I have some trend line here drawn. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, so that's a long-term trend line reversal also, right? So it is a good reversal. Probably it is showing a good strength. It is also a big company. Yeah, the momentum is really good. If it crosses 1600 levels, then it can really pick up more momentum. On the long-term charts, it is doing really well, right? It has been in a long-term massive uptrend, so nothing to worry there as well. Yeah, Amarjit, it's a good one you can continue to hold. Grasim might do really well going forward. Next is UV. I bought HFCL. Is it possible to upside? I mean, are you asking will it go up, right? Yes, looks like. So probably that's a downtrend breakout. It has formed a pivot low and it's probably broken out right now. So that's probably inverted head and shoulders breakout. But yes, I think that this is done, right? HFCL has had a good run up previously. I think it looks good. You can add more if you want, and it can probably head towards all-time highs again. 94 all levels can be seen, but keep a stop loss. Your stop loss if you're investing should be 55 around. Okay, that low should be a stop loss. Here's Rumit. Hi, Signity Tech. Let's take Signity Tech. Yeah, I think I covered this yesterday already, right? It looks good. In fact, we did a detailed analysis on this. It has broken out yesterday. I already mentioned that sometime. I think yesterday I mentioned this, and that's also inverted head and shoulders breakout. So on the other time frame, probably you can see it much better. But yeah, the trend is up. It can probably head higher again to 670 odd levels. Okay. Akash is asking how to decide if you should keep daily closing stop loss or GTT based stop loss. So it all completely depends on your position size. If you have a very big position size like 30%, like how we do, then you should keep it based on GTT. If you have a small position size like 5%, 10%, which for me doesn't make sense at all, then probably you can keep a daily closing basis. So anything more than 15% or 20% position size, then you need to have it in GTT and be clear. So it also depends on how much you want to lose. So even with a 5% position size, some people might don't want to lose much. So you might want to decide based on your risk appetite. You want to decide how you want to keep it. But for me personally, anything more than 20% goes in GTT. For me, literally, there's no always stop loss in GTT, so it doesn't just matter for me. Okay, Sagar Sriraislema Roto Pumps. Let's look at it. Yeah, it's a short-term downtrend. It's not been able to break out, to be honest. It has broken down here, right? That was a breakdown. It has not crossed the previous swing high. So short-term, yeah, it might face some more selling, or it might take some more time. So this was a breakout. Ideally, it should have not gone below this. So it tried to not go below, but there was selling pressure, and then it broke down, right? So that's how you look at it. So probably it might take some more time before they head higher. Or probably need to wait for until this downtrend is broken out. Okay, so that's how I look at it. So but on the weekly charts, if you see, it's in a strong uptrend, right? So that's on daily charts. On the weekly charts, if you see the previous swing lows here, so until 225 is not broken down, I would be totally fine. But remember, sorry, until 277. So that's the swing low. So right now it has reversed from that swing low, but on the daily charts, it's in a downtrend. So it might take some more days before it heads higher. Okay, next one is Roto Pumps. I think the entire pump stocks have done really well. Roto Pump is a good uptrend now. That's the stock you want to be in, right? So get out of stocks like stocks which have broken down and move into stocks like this. So that was a nice pivot breakout, and then it just kept heading higher, right? And still now it's high, so it does look good as well. So again, if you're investing, your stop loss should be 180 odd, or if you're position trader, probably 220 as well. Okay, Zen Technology is trading strong. What's your view on the fundamentals? I have no idea on the fundamentals around. I don't really get into fundamentals that much. You can just check screener. I've also mentioned one CCL based strategy where I mentioned what you need to look at in fundamentals. But to be honest, just looking at screener.com is a very high level fundamentals. Probably need to check on Twitter with someone who knows the fundamentals of the company. But for me, fundamentals really do not matter, because the fundamentals may be good, but you might be entering at the wrong time and the stock might start going down, and you might want to really get out of that stock. So for me, fundamentals don't really matter. Yeah, I would prefer to have good stocks in my portfolio, but if the fundamentals are good but the stock doesn't go up, then it doesn't make any sense. All right. So maybe there's some other problem with the company or too much of selling which is happening, right? So olive fluoride, yeah, someone asked this, Kumragari. It has just broken out finally after a long downtrend since Jan. So today was the first breakout. So it looks good. You can go ahead and add this in case if you want your portfolio. It can give some really good moves going forward. Okay, just checking the long-term charts. Yeah, long-term it's an uptrend, beautiful uptrend. So I don't see there's anything to worry. Okay, it looks good. Uh, Zentech entry level. Okay, let's check Zentech entry level. Entry level is gone. You missed the entry level, right? So right now I did not enter. Your entry level was above, probably around 105 was entry level. Right now, there's no way I'm touching this stock. There's no way I'm touching this stock, and there's no way I'm telling you entry point for you to enter this stock. So if you want to enter a stock before breakout, enter it. Otherwise, don't enter it. It's simple as that. Okay. So yeah, if you're willing to lose the money, so for example, let's say you want to enter now, it's up to you enter, but you should be willing to lose more than 50% of your money, because the stock can come all the way down and do a retest. We've seen this in Signity, we've seen this in so many stocks, the retest happening. Signity went all the way up and came down. So if you're willing to lose that amount of money, then go ahead. Or you can wait for a retest like this, right? It might happen, might not happen, but for now, it is not a good time to enter. It has gone up too much. India Pesticides, yeah, let's check India Pesticides, IPL, right? Yeah, okay, IPL. It's in a strong downtrend. Yeah, finally it has broken out, right? I think we discussed this sometime back as well. On the hourly charts, it's forming a nice base. So yeah, it is forming a higher lows. So yes, it looks good right now. But remember, for the entire position, your stop loss can be 300 odd levels. Okay, so that's around 8% stop, which is pretty good stop loss according to me. So keep 8% stop and you can go long in this one. Okay, Neuland. I think Neuland has gone, right. I already posted once on Twitter that Neuland has broken down from a very key support, right. So I'm just going to remove all of this. So this was inverted head and shoulders breakdown, right. So this was a breakdown, and I don't see the stock going higher anytime soon. It's a breakdown on the long-term charts. It's a breakdown. It's a similar pattern which happened on the lower time frame. If you see after COVID crash, you see there was inverted head and shoulders breakout. It went all the way from 500 to 2500, and then it had a head and shoulders breakdown. So don't get into such stocks. Wait for the downtrend, or at least get over. So the downtrend will get over only when it breaks out of this point, right? So it has to go back above 1900 levels. Only then I'd even look at the stock. So right now it's in a very, very strong downtrend. So you see that nice head and shoulders, right? And also one simple rule that I can tell you is, go to this, put a CCI indicator in your charts, plot the indicator, mark 34 as the period, as the length. And if the CCI indicator is below, anywhere below, 100 or 100 odd level, then you want to first check whether that is an uptrend or downtrend. The moment it goes below minus 100, then you want to get out of that. It's as simple as that, right? Now, I'll show you the past examples, right? So again, we had a breakdown, and see what happens when CCI goes below 100. Stock just keeps going down. So don't chase until that trend line, is breaking out, right? And you want higher lows on weekly time frame. So until that is forming, please don't enter stocks like this. Binay is asking me view on Vedanta and Subex. Vedanta uptrend is still intact, so keep a stop around 260. The uptrend is still intact, unlike Neuland. So nothing much there. It can still head higher. Just keep your stop loss previous swing low. Yeah, so Subex. So Subex actually is testing this trend line. So if you see on the linear charts, I've drawn this trend line over here, right? So that trend line is still intact. So the log chart trend line kind of broke down, but now it's kind of facing resistance there, right? Now it's taking support around that level. And also, if you see here, we've kind of broken out from the short-term trend line, and it's probably retest. All you need to do is just keep a buy stop above 55. So just keep a order for trigger above 55, and probably once it gets triggered, then you can confirm that the short-term trend is back up. Short-term trend is currently down, completely down. Okay. So Sunil, I hope I've answered Neuland, Gulpoli, and all of you. Harish, yes. So Gulshan Poly. So Gulshan Poly is still in uptrend, Harish. So nothing to worry there. You can clearly look, right. It's clearly an uptrend. So it's just a dip in this uptrend. So, and also seems like it's breaking out today from the downtrend. Yes, it is also breaking out today. So tomorrow, if you want, you can place a buy out about 255, and if you're already holding, then it's a good time to pyramid as well. But entire position, the stop loss should be 214. Okay. So I think DXY is taking support around this trend line, right? So I think This trend line is taking support around the trend line, and I've already drawn that there, right? So it's taking support on the trend line, and we might see a reversal, and that's why I think there's a pause in markets. The reason why the markets are pausing is because of this. So if you see in the last since August, we kind of had a falling dollar, and that's the reason why the markets went up. And I think probably this reversal is now going to put more pressure on the markets, right? So that's my take. But yeah, we need it's probably just retesting the previous breakout as well. So tomorrow, if there is a follow through, then we can go all the way again back to 93.4. Okay, but yeah, dollar has been the spoil sport probably today. Okay, how much are your experience? You is asking. I've been in market since 2010, but yeah, I didn't make money till 2016, 17. I started making money only after 2017, after learning a lot, spending money on my own learning. Okay, Sunil, I've already answered Neuland. You just because you keep posting again and again, I'm going to answer all of your questions. So stop posting again and again. I really kindly request you don't do that. Okay. Yeah, Harish, what if Fortis hits stop loss reversed from there? Can we add again or should we wait for confirmation? If a stop loss hits, then I'll add only about the previous high again. I will not add unless the previous high is crossed. Okay. Sunil is asking Noel. Okay. Ganesh is asking Dhanuka. Dhanuka is in a strong downtrend. In case you've seen a newsletter, Ganesh, I think we exited kind of somewhere around 930, 932 levels. I think 932 somewhere I exited, 920 odd levels, I think. But if you see again here, right? So the reason why you should not be in such stocks when you have so this was a proper uptrend and then we had a breakdown from here, right? And since that breakdown, the stock is just going down. So you shouldn't be looking at these stocks. And I think I also gave this as a recommendation because it had a massive cup and handle breakout, but that was just a false breakout. And probably we're going all the way back to the 600-700 levels. No one knows. But yeah, right now the trend is really down, Ganesh. So you don't really have to look at Dhanuka if you are looking to buy. So probably wait for a higher high to form, and then so like for example in this entire downtrend, if you see the first time a higher high formed was here, right? Then you keep a stop loss here, and then you enter the stock, right? You need to probably follow the same approach even now. Okay. Harish is asking, after long-term record, some are consolidating for a good time, some are running away. It's up to the stock. It's totally demand supply. If there is no supply in the stock, then the stock will just keep going higher and higher because there's too much of demand. Like it's just like a similar to a COVID situation. When we initially had COVID, there were no masks, right? So there hardly were any masks, and everyone wanted masks. And then slowly, steadily, supply started coming in the market, and then everyone had masks. Now, if you go, you'll get a mask anyway in every shop in the world now. So it's all about demand supply. Some go up quickly, some don't go up quickly. So you can't really do anything. Prashant is asking on Rajrathan. Rajasthan is a very strong uptrend. It's just consolidating. I think we covered this multiple times, but yeah, it's just consolidating. Just needs to some more time to head higher, probably. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Reliance is looking good, Ganesh. It is has given yesterday was a sell-off right at the top, and probably just going to take some more time. But yeah, it has crossed the all-time high. It is doing really well. It might hold the markets probably, but I would not rule out a retest back to even 2250 probably. It can do a retest, no one knows, or even towards 2300 levels. We can do a retest if the market's kind of correct. Okay. Likita has crossed 400. Rishi is saying, let's check Likita. The previous high is still not taken out. So if you see, this was up move down, then from here it was one way move down, right? So you can probably say that this was the swing high, but for me, the stock is in a downtrend still. I'd probably look at the stock once the previous high is taken out maybe, but yeah, so it is just you see this rejection here, right? So the rejection candle, so that needs to be taken out, and then probably we are heading higher again. And until that is not crossed, I would not probably consider the stock. That's what I said. As soon as stop loss is hit, I would not enter the stock until the previous high is crossed, or at least you need a higher high to form. Now, if you just plot a simple pivot, right, you can see that higher low, right? Let's see the pivot, right? So the pivot previous high is this one, correct? 418 is the previous pivot. So at least yesterday crossed, but today we kind of came down. So probably filling the gap, but you can probably enter even now, but your stop loss is around 314. Okay, but if you want really good strength, then probably we need to cross the previous all-time high 466, and then we can probably see much higher levels. But yeah, the market is weak, and we can see some weakness in some stocks as well. Okay, Kumragari ready. Let's check. I think ready perfectly reversed from a trend line. In fact, I drew this I think some time back. Yeah, so ready the perfect reversal from trend line, and right now it's still not an uptrend, right? So probably in daily charts, yes, it has made a new higher high. So yes, you can consider probably entering the stock, because of the primary reason for me would be this trend line reversal, right? So it was a down and we had doji here. So yeah, you can enter the stock if you want, but keep a stop around 4445. It doesn't matter if the farm index is correcting or not. Farm index can be downtrend and this can still keep going up. Okay, so that doesn't matter. Harish, order block, I have no idea. I'm sorry, but you need to have probably Google. Okay, last question from Anirudh. Pity engineering about this, please. Pity engineering. Yeah, on the weekly charts, it's in a good uptrend. Yeah, it's still an uptrend. It has taken support around the previous swing low here, but that's not a perfect swing low. It has taken support and is reversed. But again, if you see short-term trend is down, right? So, but yeah, until this swing low is broken, I would not be really worried. And this stock looks good. It can probably head higher again, right? But if a short-term trader, keep your stop around 40. If an investor, probably go to the weekly charts and wait for a consolidation to happen. Probably this can be the low. So if you see in the weekly charts, it has given a one-way move up. So there is no consolidation yet. So one strong consolidation will happen in any stock. So you just need to wait and give it some time if you're an investor. Okay, Utkarsh, maybe last year question, Mastek and Sarigama. Mastek is again trying to cross the previous high, right? So it just needs one push. And we also spoke about this trend line. The trend line support is beautifully acted and it is probably heading higher. So unless this trend line support is not broken, or unless 2450 is not broken, I'd not be really worried. So looking good. Sarigama also looks good, right? So Sarigama has probably broken out. It just needs to make a new high, 3580, 3600 above it crosses the new high. It looks good. It's been a long consolidation, almost 2 months consolidation, and it might head higher as well. This is a long-term story probably, looking at the fundamentals, it does look good. But yeah, right now, if you want to really build a position, then you need to, probably we have a strict stop loss, 2950 is stop loss. It's a pretty deep stop loss, but yeah, that could be considered as one of stop loss. Okay, Ashok Likita I've already covered, so just go and play back the video, you might find it. Okay, so I think we are done for today. Thank you for joining again. So 34 people, please like the video before you drop off, and also do share this video with your friends. And I hope you trade safe, especially we're going to have, I think, some volatility in the next few days. We might have some correction, so trade safe. If your stop loss hits, please get out. We never know if that's the start of a new correction, a new long correction, or a short-term correction. So all we can do is stick to your stop loss. So I hope you do that, and I hope you trade safely, follow risk management. That's the most important thing. Okay, so I'll leave you here. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow again. Thank you. Bye bye.